My name is Jason Cox.
My name is Christine Cox.
We're going to tell you about how
And we're married.
Yeah, we're married. That's right. We both were hired to as performers and singers on a cruise ship for a company called Paramount Productions.
Which is the movie company, that
company.
you know had started a cruise line division.
Yeah, they had all the parks like Carowinds, Kings Island, all that. They had Paramount did it, and they had just recently got the contract for a now bankrupt cruise ship company called Renaissance Cruises. And so I was at the time living in Nashville. I was tying up loose ends there, and I drove from Nashville into Charlotte where we were having rehearsals. And we were staying at the Holiday Inn Express there near Carowinds at the theme park. We were rehearsing at Carowinds and another offsite place. And I got in late. The cast, everybody else was there. It was two casts for two different ships.
So I had to interject because I had already worked for this company for 6 months, and I had done a contract where I was all over the place, and I got home the day before. So I finished a 6-month contract and then drove straight to Charlotte and started a new one the very next day. And that's when we met on his.
Well, I'll help him get to that. So I get there. I'm late. I don't even know where I'm supposed to stay. Nobody knows what hotel room I'm in. So I go ahead and just get a hotel room. There. And I wasn't in the right hotel room, but I needed a place to sleep. It was late. So I wake up. That was October the 15th, 1998. And then so the next day I get up, and it's my actual birthday, October 16th. And everybody's down there getting the free continental breakfast and everything. And I'm walking around and I don't know anybody. I get a call from one of the production managers to make sure I was there. And I came down there and I met some people. And Chris walked up and introduced herself because she was going to be in the cast. The cast was a cast of 6 singers, 3 male, 3 female. And she came up and introduced herself and said hi. And, we became really good friends for a while. I was dating somebody else, to say that, long distance relationship. Of course, you know how that goes. Of course that didn't work out. And shortly thereafter, Chris and I were dating.
Yes, we were. That was a lot of detail for that, like one day that we met. Yeah. So, but somebody had already warned me that he was coming. They're like, you're gonna love this guy. He's great. He's a big country singer. He's from Texas. Great family. He's hilarious. He's a great singer. So I had already kind of been prepped. So when I met him, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be trouble. So we became really good friends. And so we started to date eventually on that one contract, but we kind of did things in reverse. So it wasn't like I'll give you a call. Do you want to go out with me? Let's go out some more. Let's go out exclusively. We never had that kind of a journey. We were around each other all the time. His cabin was next to mine. So we were in a small group. There's not a lot of English speakers on a ship. So we were in a small group that were friends and did everything together. So that when we started to date, our official first date was to the Parthenon in Athens, Greece. Mm-hmm. And so it was not like a normal courtship.
Yeah, no. We're taking to the Parthenon in Greece.
Yeah. So, but it was more like we knew that we'd separate and he'd go back to Texas and I'd go back to South Carolina. So we didn't think that there'd be much more, than that. And we were trying to make plans to see each other. But after we separated from that contract, we realized that we had something really special and that we were in love. And so we wanted to, so we had visited through that summer, had planned to get put on the same ship for the next contract to work together. And at the last minute, we got sent to different ships. I got sent to Tahiti and he got sent on a world cruise. So not only could we not see each other, we couldn't even talk on the phone.
Yeah, this is before you had internet. Like now, cruise ships, they have internet in the rooms. You can.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. So but I think this is the reason why our relationship worked, because sometimes guys are better at writing things than actually speaking their feelings. So I have this beautiful book that we made of our correspondence during that 6-month period. So,
which are actual printed out emails, like actual paper that probably the captain was reading, and they would just slide them
I
under your
email
door.
him on the ship,
You
and
didn't actually
they get printed in the radio room and slipped under your door. So everybody reads all of your business. And I would type letters in the ship's library, save them to the floppy disk, and then I would go in port. And so I was on a 10-day cruises. So I would find the internet cafe in Papeete, Tahiti, and I would download all of his letters, and then I would send all of mine that we had each written. So we had
made a floppy disk is a thing that you save. It's like a disk in there.
Yes,
actually, like
these
save info on there,
and
it goes in. Goes in.
They'll know what this is. So we had tried to talk on the phone, and this was like, I took the 4 main phone booths in all of French Polynesia. So in Papeete, Huahine, Raiatea, and Bora Bora. And so we tried to make dates to call. And so I'd say, call me on April 26th at 4 p.m. Because I never changed, but he was constantly in a different country. So he
different time zone.
And he had crossed the date line. So it was like, okay, but -1 day, but plus 12 hours. But that, so it never happened. So there were so many afternoons that I would just spend in a phone booth, just staring at the phone, praying that it would ring, and we never lined up, or we got the math wrong, or at the last minute he would get called back on board to do something. So it wasn't until the contract was over they asked me to stay, and because somebody had quit, I said, I'll stay if you bring out Jason. So we were able to spend a little bit of time in Tahiti left together, and then from that point on, we were really getting serious. So we said we only work together, and that just kind of determined the trajectory of the next 6 years. And he proposed to me in Venice. So our courtship, again, we had our dates were maybe overnight in Copenhagen, and we would go out to the theater in St. Petersburg, Russia. So it was definitely not a normal courtship. But so then we said, we need to plant some roots. So we ended up, we're saying the first place that one of us gets a job on land, that's where we move. And I was hoping it was Myrtle Beach because I'm from South Carolina.
And I first to let you know, I've never at that point never heard of Myrtle Beach. No. Of course, you know it because when you were from Greenwood, South Carolina.
Used to come, you'd come here as a kid for vacation. So anyway, so we ended up moving to New York for a little bit, and a couple of hiccups along the way, but ended up moving here in 2005 as newlyweds, really. We'd only been married a year and a half, and got pregnant with our first child the next year, and then another child 3 years later. And so anyway, the rest is history.
And we've been here in Grand Strand for
20 years. Yeah, so we moved January 2005, so it's been exactly 20 years. And
right, 20 years.
And it's fun still making music together.
Yeah.